Hello, this will be my first video using my voice, and this is going to be my distracting tutorial. So let's just get into it. So to start off, we're just going to be going over the basics of distracting, starting off with commons, rares, uncommons, and mains. If I have a video of me distracting that twisted that I am talking about, then I will put that video in so then you can have a visualization of how to distract that certain twisted. So to begin, let's start off with how to distract in the first place. First off, you're going to need a character with 4 or more movement speed, and if you are feeling a little bit risky, you could try using a 3-star movement speed, but you'll have to be very good at spacing and have the right trinkets for it. Another thing I should mention are trinkets. The most common trinkets people use are dog plush and speedy shoes, dog plush and ribbon spool, or dog plush and clown horn. Other honorable mentions can be dog plush and alarm, dog plush and pink bow, and dog plush and scrapbook. Dog plush and scrapbook should mainly be used on Pebble due to his higher stealth and his faster speed. If you are looking to use this on someone like Flutter, I would definitely recommend having distracted a little bit longer than being a beginner. Now that we have gone over trinkets, now we can get onto actually distracting. When you are distracting, you need to find a place to distract. Typically, this is by Broken Ellie, unless there is a machine by there. Then you should find somewhere else to distract until Broken Elevator is open to distract near. If you are distracting with a 3 or more stealth distractor, then you should try and be away from all your teammates as much as possible. If there is a 2-star stealth toon in your run, then try and tell them to stay away or try and be in a place where there is no machines. When you distract, you normally go in a circular motion around an island or in an open area that has no machines. When your team is close to finishing all the machines and they say GTE, then you should start to hover your sprint button. They get a little faster during panic mode, and sometimes you can get hit. If you are playing as Pebble or you're playing with Alarm, then you shouldn't have to worry about getting hit in panic, because then you become faster than the Twisteds, even in panic. You should also try and get the suppression cards early on, because it makes the Twisted slower during panic mode. This will be super useful on later floors when there are faster and harder to distract Twisteds. Now that we have gone over the basics, I can get into how to distract the Twisteds. Let's start off with commons. Commons are an average speed, and there are a couple exceptions for this, such as Shrimpo, who is a little slower than average, and Yada, who is faster, but is still a common. When distracting either of these two, you still need to make sure that the other Twisteds are on you. If you are distracting Yada and you only focus on her, you can sometimes lose a common or two. And if you're distracting Shrimpo, but you keep on forgetting he's there, then you'll lose him sometimes. Now that I've gone over the common Twisteds, let's move on to uncommons. To start off, let's go over Brightney. Brightney causes the blackout chance on the floor that she spawns on to become higher. This can become quite troublesome on later floors, so just try and be careful during the blackouts. Next up is Twisted Fin, which, just like Shrimpo, is a little slower than most toons, so just make sure that he's still there and not on the loose. Twisted Tegan is not much of a problem, having a similar speed to most commons. Twisted Toodles can become a little bit of a problem, being the same speed as Shelly. She is quite fast and becomes even faster during panic mode. Just be careful and you should be alright. Now that the uncommons are done, we can move on to the rares. Starting off the list is Twisted Flutter. She's not much of a problem, only being slightly faster than the common toon. Twisted Gigi can be quite the hassle, stealing your items and being faster than common Twisteds. Try and have bait in the first part of your inventory so then she doesn't steal any valuable items. Some Twisteds that beginners struggle with while distracting are Twisted Goob and Scraps, both of them having long-ranged attacks. Starting off with Twisted Goob having a cooldown of 10 seconds, he is also slightly slower, not by much, but it's still there. Twisted Scraps, on the other hand, having a cooldown of 12 seconds, is slightly longer than her brother's cooldown. When distracting either of these two, keep that cooldown in mind. Before you aggro either of the two, you should find an object to hide behind so then you don't get hit. Once you have dodged the initial attack, then you should start your countdown, counting and making sure that they don't hit you. Now that the rares are done, let's move on to mains. Starting off with Astro, who is the same speed as Yada. He also has an ability where he can make your stamina regeneration slower. He isn't a very big problem, but if it's paired up with someone like V that makes you slower and use more stamina, then he can become quite a problem. Speaking of V, she gives you an effect that makes you slower, so when distracting her, try and keep your distance from other Twisteds. She isn't the most difficult to distract, but if paired up with a bad combination, she can become difficult to distract. Up next is Twisted Sprout, who spawns tendrils from the ground. These can become quite difficult to work around in confined spaces, so try and keep it open, and if not, make sure that you place the tendrils in places that are easy to avoid. Being the same speed as Twisted Toodles, Twisted Shelly is not that difficult to distract. Although she has an enlarged hitbox and makes machines go slower, it doesn't take much time to learn how to distract her. Being one of the hardest Twisteds to distract, Twisted Pebble is very fast. When you are distracting Twisted Pebble, you should stay around an island, cut corners, and try and make distance. If it is possible, try and get a backup distractor, or communicate to your team that you are letting the commons let loose. The last on the list and the last of the mains is Twisted Dandy. Twisted Dandy is a lethal and has a larger hitbox, although he is a little slower. Twisted Dandy will take the quickest route towards you, so he might cut you off sometimes. Anyways, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and if I missed anything, then please comment what I missed.